Hey everyone! Today's story is a creepy and disturbing tale from the dark web. Remember, there's no real proof that these events happened. These are personal stories from people who say they experienced them. The dark web is a strange and mysterious place where fact and fiction often mix. Some of these stories sound unbelievable, but to those who share them, the fear is real. As you listen, keep in mind that these are like urban legends, scary, mysterious, and a warning about the dangers hidden online. A single click can lead to the unknown. If you enjoy spooky stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more chilling tales. Stay safe out there. Have you ever wondered what lies beneath the surface of the internet? The part you can't see with a simple Google search? The part where secrets are buried and nightmares come alive? This is the story of a man who ventured too deep into the dark web and found something he could never escape. Alex was a 28-year-old software engineer who lived alone in a small apartment. He was brilliant but lonely, spending most of his nights tinkering with code or exploring obscure corners of the internet. One rainy night, while scrolling through a tech forum, he stumbled upon a thread titled, "The Hidden Room, a game you can't quit." The comments were a mix of curiosity and fear. Some users claimed it was a myth, while others swore it was real. One comment stood out: "If you're brave enough to find it, the hidden room will change your life or end it." Alex, intrigued and slightly skeptical, decided to dig deeper. He followed a series of cryptic instructions. Downloading a special browser, entering a string of random numbers and letters as a URL, and finally typing in a code he found buried in the forum. The screen went black for a moment, then loaded a plain white page with a single button. "Enter the hidden room." He hesitated. Something about this felt off. But curiosity got the better of him. He clicked the button. The screen flickered, and suddenly, Alex was inside a virtual room. The walls were dark, covered in strange symbols that seemed to shift and move when he looked at them. A countdown timer appeared at the top of the screen, 60:00. Below it, a message popped up: "Find the key or face the consequences." Alex leaned closer to the screen. "What the hell is this?" he muttered. He began clicking on objects in the room: a dusty bookshelf, a broken mirror, a locked drawer. Each click revealed a riddle or a puzzle. The first few were easy. A simple math problem, a word scramble, a pattern recognition test. Alex solved them quickly, feeling a rush of adrenaline. But as the timer reached 45 minutes, the puzzles started getting personal. One clue read, "The name of your first pet?" Alex froze. How could they know about Max, his childhood dog? He typed the name, and the drawer opened, revealing another clue: "The street you grew up on." His hands trembled as he typed Maple Lane. The screen flashed, and a new message appeared: "You're doing well, Alex. But the room knows you better than you think." The timer ticked down to 30 minutes. The next clue was even more unsettling: "Your sister's favorite toy, buried in the backyard." Alex's heart raced. His sister, Emily, had died in a car accident 5 years ago. No one knew about her favorite toy except him. He typed Mr. Fluffy, and the screen glitched, showing a distorted image of a stuffed rabbit. The room seemed to grow colder. By the time the timer reached 15 minutes, Alex was sweating. The clues were no longer just puzzles. They were pieces of his life, things no one could possibly know. The final clue appeared: "The reason you quit your last job." Alex's stomach churned. He had never told anyone the real reason he left. It was too painful. He typed, "I couldn't save her." The screen went black. For a moment, Alex thought it was over. But then, a new message appeared: "Congratulations. The key is yours. But the room is now yours too." Suddenly, his webcam turned on by itself. The screen showed his own face, pale and terrified. Behind him, in the reflection of his room, a shadowy figure stood. Alex spun around, but no one was there. Or so he thought. From that day on, strange things started happening. His computer would turn on by itself in the middle of the night, always loading the hidden room. He'd hear whispers when no one was around. And every time he looked at his webcam, the shadowy figure was closer. It started as a faint outline in the corner of the room, but over time it became clearer, a tall, faceless figure with long, spindly fingers. Alex tried everything to escape. He unplugged his computer, smashed his webcam, and even moved to a new apartment. But the hidden room followed him. It appeared on his phone, his TV, even his smartwatch. The figure was always there, watching, waiting. One night, Alex received a final message. "Time's up." His screen glitched, and the hidden room loaded one last time. The shadowy figure stepped out of the screen, its form shifting and distorting as it moved into the real world. Alex screamed, but no one heard him. The figure reached out, its cold, bony fingers wrapping around his wrist. The screen went black. Alex was never seen again. His apartment was found empty, his computer still on, displaying the hidden room. The timer had stopped at midnight. Some say he's still trapped in the hidden room, forced to solve puzzles for eternity. Others say the room was never virtual to begin with. It was a gateway to something far darker. So, the next time you're tempted to explore the dark web, remember Alex's story. Because some doors are better left unopened, and some rooms are better left hidden. It all started on a rainy night. Vikas, a 25-year-old gamer, was scrolling through the dark web, looking for something new to play. He was bored of the usual games and wanted something different. That's when he found it, a link buried deep in a forgotten forum. The post simply said, "The Endless Loop, a game you can't quit?" There were no instructions, no screenshots, just a download button. Vikas hesitated for a moment, but curiosity got the better of him. He clicked it. The game installed itself instantly. When Vikas opened it, the screen went black and a single line of text appeared. "Find the exit. But beware. The loop never ends." The game loaded into a dark, eerie maze. The walls were tall and covered in strange symbols that seemed to glow faintly. Vikas grabbed his controller and started playing. At first, it seemed simple. The maze was confusing, but Vikas was good at games. He navigated through the twists and turns, solving puzzles and avoiding traps. After what felt like hours, he finally reached the exit, a bright, glowing door. But as soon as he stepped through it, the screen flashed and the game reset. He was back at the beginning. "What the hell?" Vikas muttered. He tried again. This time, he noticed something strange. The maze was different. The walls had changed, and the puzzles were harder. But what really caught his attention was the voice. A soft, whispering voice started guiding him, telling him where to go. It sounded familiar, like someone he knew but couldn't quite place. The second time he reached the exit, the same thing happened. The game reset, but now the maze was even darker and the voice was louder. It was saying things only Vikas would know, like the name of his childhood dog or the street he grew up on. He started to feel uneasy. How did the game know these things? By the third loop, Vikas was sweating. The maze was no longer just a game, it felt real. The walls seemed to close in on him, and the voice was no longer guiding him. It was taunting him. "You'll never escape, Vikas," it whispered. "You've been here before. Don't you remember?" That's when it hit him. The voice, it was his own. But not his current voice. It sounded older, rougher, like a version of himself from the future. Vikas's heart raced. He tried to quit the game, but it wouldn't let him. The exit button was gone. The only way out was to keep playing. As the loops continued, Vikas started noticing more details. The maze wasn't random, it was made up of places from his life. The park where he played as a kid, the school he hated, the hospital where his grandmother died. The game was pulling memories from his mind and turning them into the maze. And with each loop, the maze got darker, more twisted. One night, after what felt like the 100th loop, Vikas broke down. He screamed at the screen, "What do you want from me?" The game paused and the voice replied, "You've been here for years, Vicus. Don't you remember? You can't escape. The loop never ends." Vicus's blood ran cold. He looked around his room and noticed something he hadn't before. The calendar on his wall was stuck on the same date, the day he first downloaded the game. The clock on his computer hadn't moved. The food on his desk was untouched, not even stale. Time had stopped. Or maybe he was stuck in it. The final twist came when Vicus reached the exit one last time. Instead of resetting, the game showed him a video. It was a live feed of his own room, but everything was covered in dust, like no one had been there for years. The voice whispered, "You've been playing for so long, Vicus. The real world moved on without you. But don't worry, you'll never be alone in the loop." The screen went black and the game reset again. Vicus tried to scream, but no sound came out. He was back at the beginning, the maze waiting for him. The voice whispered, "Welcome back, Vicus. Let's play again." And so, the loop continued. Forever.